soothing bed.
I love it. Makes me happy every time.
Yeah, it's a goodie. It's Pavlovian now.
Oh, it has been for me for a long time. It's way cooler than the show.
Bottle cap or mint is way cooler than that.
Well, I had the opportunity, actually, to be a guest on the lounge show. Yeah, I was all ready to do it. And then one of the hosts...
Rob.
What was... Oh,
Rob.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob Scott.
That's the guy.
Yes, that's the one. It's Rob and Bob. So it was Rob.
It's Rob.
Who said he didn't want me to appear.
Right.
That I wasn't relevant anymore.
That's true.
But look, I was just happy to get the initial invitation. I mean, who wouldn't be?
It's The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle, two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are somehow able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Did I do it? Yeah. Sorry.
What did you do?
Well, low power mode came up on my phone right when the show... that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Low power mode. What a great way to start the
And,
Sweet
that would be
16
a
edition
name
of
for
the... Pardon?
That'd be a good name for an ice cream. A good flavor.
I've
Low power
forgotten
mode.
it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's The Lounge Show, boys and girls.
It
Hello,
sure
hello,
is.
hello.
But how do
Bob's
we know
there
that for
now.
a fact?
Well,
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
That's right. That's
That's
what
that's
it is.
you know,
That's what it
the
is.
regular crowd is just rolling
They're
on
just-
in.
You know what? They're standing outside in the line,
So
trying to
two things
negotiate
real
with the
quick.
bouncer.
One is that I don't know, yay or nay, we'll see how we're doing. Next Saturday, Lounge may be closed. May be closed. I will be coming back into town that day. I don't know how I will be feeling, to be honest with you. So I'm going to Wisconsin this week, Bob. Going
Is
up
this
to
a-
see Pam.
Is this an unexpected visit, or this was?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I bought tickets a while back. They were still expensive then. I wouldn't want to venture. I guess how much more they'd be now. But yes, just hopping on a plane, going up to Wisconsin.
All right. Well, that's totally fine. I've certainly canceled for way.
You canceled once because you just forgot. What day
Forgot.
it
I
was.
totally was like 6:13. I'm like, oh my god, the show. That was the first.
Why is Rob calling? Why is
Yeah,
Rob
that's right.
calling?
That's right.
What the hell is his problem? This better be important.
Doesn't he know it's a weekend?
Hello?
It's Saturday.
Somebody
This better be important.
Somebody better be dead. All right? Why the hell are you calling me? So yeah, off to Wisconsin to see Pamela in a house I don't believe that you have visited.
No,
but it's
I've only.
but it's got the same vibe. It's still the same people in the same county in that whole west side of Milwaukee. So it should be nice. And it'll be around 30 to 40 degrees. That's the high and low range. That's the one thing I forget about that area. Like in Atlanta, 70 degrees in the day, could be 30 at night. There it ranges 9 and 10 degrees top to bottom.
Now, I'm pretty sure that is where Pamela's, the place I have been, in addition to Judy's Cell and numerous other stories.
Yes.
The white chocolate raspberry cheesecake.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
She is
Yes,
the
indeed.
origin of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, first
And
time
to
either
this
of us
day, it's what I ask for on birthdays and
You know,
such.
and in fact, okay, cool. Hold on. Cheesecake. I'm not kidding. I'm writing this down. So she calls me the other day because she's, as you know, she's a wonderful baker. There's an incredible baker.
Have
and
you had
I
her
know-
white chocolate raspberry cheesecake?
I have. I lived with my sister.
Because if
when
you
I was-
haven't, you should try it.
I was a squatter years ago at her house, and so I had the good fortune of eating a lot of her wonderful baked goods. And when I'm going up there this trip, just to visit, no one's dead, it's a wonderful just to visit trip. And she said, so I said, I'd like you to teach me a few give me some baking to beginner 101, just so because I think I'd like. And she said, well, let me know, and then I can get the ingredient. And that's what I'm going for, I think. Learn to make that cheesecake.
Oh, well. But that's kind of
When I'm up
different than, that's kind of like the baking. Like, are you wanting to, like, what part of baking is it that you're wanting the tips on?
Well, she makes scones every morning. I don't know how to make scones.
Okay.
Can you make homemade scones?
What? That sounded very threatening. Very
I didn't
challenging.
mean it.
Very confrontational. Very confrontational.
So it was confrontational. Is that what you're saying?
Very, Very,
very
very
confrontational.
confrontational.
When he wears his Spider-Man costume, boys and girls, he gets really huffy and puffy. So,
Yeah.
do you know how to make scones?
I've made scones.
Okay, see, I never have, so I don't. Anything would be new to me. Practically,
It was a couple of lifetimes ago, though. You know,
I have a bread baking machine downstairs, a bread making machine, and it works great. You put everything in, you push the button, and it comes out bread.
you
But
act
that's
like
not
it came out yesterday. It's this bread making. We've been calling it bread machines for 25, 30 years. It's this bread baking machine. You just put the ingredients in, and boom, bread comes out.
That's right. You just put in the ingredients and
Bread comes out.
bread comes out. Right. So I have one of those. But that's cheating. And so I'd like to learn to, and I think with baking especially, it's more of a textural skill set. There's a lot of tactical thing. Knead it until it does this. Wait till it rises like that. It's not like cooking. Cooking is just, cook it and then it's done.
Until
There's
it's
all,
this.
Yes,
Now-
there's bread rising. There's things that rise and you have to puff and punch and all this stuff. So I want to learn some of that. I think that'd be fun.
What is this room temperature thing I keep
I
hearing about?
know, right? So it's yeast, self-rising, not self. There's baking powder and baking soda. They're way different chemically. I do
Is
know
it
that.
active, or I've never seen inactive, like bored yeast,
Yeah, right.
like
Flunked out of
lackadaisical,
baking school.
apathetic
Hey, you want that?
yeast.
Yeah, apathetic
What?
yeast.
This is for the
Come up here.
active yeast.
You're right.
Doing
Come on
Joker
up here.
Jackson
I'd
shit.
have, if I came up there, I'd have to rise out of my chair, and this is no rising zone here, man. See
You give
what
me
I
some
did there?
sugar. That's what they need.
That's right. Anyway, I think maybe I could ask her if I could do the chocolate cheesecake thing, the white chocolate raspberry.
Cheesecake, yes.
She can bake, man. She's got a whole area in this new kitchen that we used to be a mudroom. For those of you who don't know what a mudroom is, that's a room that a lot of people use up north when you're coming in with scuzz all over your boots during the snowy, sleety season. You just kick off your boots in the mudroom. And her
Then
husband,
why don't they
Judd,
call it a scuzz room, Rob? Because
I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there when they named it.
Well,
So-
if you had been, I just need to know how you would have voted.
I would have gone for mudroom probably, or boot
Okay,
room.
even though, so then when you tell the story, you talk about mud coming in, not scuzz, because I'm like confused. Now wait, you said
yeah.
there was a
Point
mud
is,
room,
he
and then
took the mudroom and he turned it into a baking area, a beautiful.
that
with
sounds
this-
horrible. There used to be
Oh,
mud in
horrible?
here. Have this.
Well,
These brownies
it's
are
this
great. Is
long
that a
bench,
rock?
He put a long wooden bench top where she rolls out the dough and everything, and she's got all her mixers and her flour and her sugar and all the. It's wonderful. You know what? 3 a.m, they're in there making bread, is what they're doing, and some of
wholesome
the guys
bakers.
are doing, and they're doing donuts too. So yeah.
Right.
Anyway, I think maybe I'll try to learn that if that's not too technically hard. If not, scones
It's not hard. I've done it.
to make the cheesecake.
It's not that hard.
Okay.
Cheesecake isn't like, it's not like other cake.
Well-
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it can be screwed up, I guess. So go for it.
Anyway,
I mean,
last
it's gonna taste good. It's white chocolate and raspberry.
has raspberry and it's cheesecake. They named a whole factory after that.
They sure did. And
So, by the way, boys and girls, not that you give a rat's butt, but Bob and I, right, man, at the bottom of the show, when Jim Gaffigan talks today, poof, Bob's gone. He's a vapor trail. He's in the wind. He has things to do. This is how dedicated he is to the show, to the professionalism. And it's just your craft, buddy, is admirable.
that's right. Well, see, so I don't know.
Oh,
if
by
you
the
read
way, go to the blurry cam. Do you got the still blurry cam going? Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted. I
I
apologize.
have tried to start this conversation
Okay.
since
You know
the
what? I'm gonna have some
beginning.
tea. I'll have some tea. That's
And
what
the reason is because normally when this show is on, I'm thinking that it's you and me watching, and maybe sometimes Tracy catches it, and I never think about anybody else, doing it, and certainly not Amber. But Amber if you looked at the title, it was the Sweet 16 edition, and it's not like I have some big huge tribute because I'd have to prove every freaking picture, and I don't have that in me. But she just turned 16. It's the big one, and in fact,
that is the big one.
Well, okay, I'm going to look at the timer. I'm going to tell you exactly because we've been tracking it. It is 5 hours, 50 minutes, and 52 seconds away.
Until it's her birthday?
That's right.
Hi, Bob.
Oh, no. That is not what we want to do.
No, I guess
So,
not.
so it's
That's a biggie. 13's a biggie, as I recall, and 16's a biggie.
And and Tracy had 50 this year, so they both had
milestones,
significant birthdays. So needless to say, there's a lot of running around, and it's not like Amber doesn't know there's a lot of running around, for birthday stuff. And so, yeah. But actually, this is all about a car pickup because she had to borrow a friend's car and park her car there. Anyway, I have to go get her.
That's what the bottom line is. You could tell all the other incidentals, but
I got to go pick up Tracy. That's really all I should have said.
That's it. That's all it is. That's what it comes down.
I just go on and on sometimes.
So I talked to my son today, and because we check in every now and then. It was a wonderful conversation. But the point is, he said, "What are you doing tonight?" That's where the conversation was. Truly, just shooting the breeze. And I said, "Well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold these towels. Boring, boring, boring." And then I said, "And then I'm going to get ready for the show." And he goes, "You guys have been doing that for a while now, haven't you? I mean, it's been a while." And I almost like that, thing. Yeah, it was
so
kind of
much
sad.
Hard drive space for nothing.
Yeah,
but,
and not nothing. I'm telling you,
nothing.
Not for nothing. Tito Puente's going to die one of these days, and then those albums will be worth something. So it's the same with the Lounge Show. I think years from
I keep
generations
saying that about the Bob Doyle Show. 5 or 6 years worth of that stuff floating around out there.
Okay.
But what are we? Is this the third year? This has got to be the third year.
Yes, because it was COVID based. The show was COVID based, and now we are in November. First show of November, by the way, the first Lounge of November.
Yeah,
is today, and the
Sweet 16 edition.
The Sweet 16 edition
of the Lounge Show
version. And Chuck Berry too. He wrote a song. He did a song about Sweet Little 16.
I think at some point, there's a plan to maybe watch 16 Candles.
Wonderful, funny. I got a story about that. I was working at WGN in Chicago, and right out of school, and had no freaking clue what I was doing in any way, shape, or form, facet of my life. When I reflect back on that time, when I got it, I shouldn't say you, like everyone was the same. When I got out of school, man, I was lost. Like some of my buddies, and I interviewed here and here, and then they had a job, and they had health insurance, and I was living at home in the twin bed with the same curtains on the walls that had clowns and crap on them. I mean, it was that, So anyway, I'm working at WGN, and one of the guys who flew in the traffic copter, he happened to be a Chicago cop. And then he also got to do that, which is a great gig because you're working on your police, pension, and you don't have to get shot at anymore. He's up doing traffic. And he comes into me one day and goes, "I'm going to be in a movie." Jim Cavanaugh, I'll never forget his name. Nice guy. I go, "You're going to be in a movie?"
Another Cavanaugh on radio. How about that? That we need to.
Yeah, what is shocking. Just like an uncle or a doctor or a wolfman. So anyway, he says, "I'm going to be in this movie," and he says it's called 16 Candles. And I go, that's I think going to be a John Hughes film because me and you.
Yeah, Rob's Real Review.
Rob's Real Review, and I said, so he said, yeah, because they want to start the movie with me doing the traffic, and he didn't even have to do anything. He just got paid for them to grab the audio that they just swiped from the radio station.
Sweet,
and he got SAG-AFTRA money on that deal. And every time I watch it, the very opening one, the very first, the credits of like Universal Studios or whoever released the film, they don't have their little logo. Their dun, dun, dun. The movie audio starts, and it starts with him, and he's talking about the Eisenhower and the Dan Ryan Expressway, and I'm going, money, 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 freaking money, way to go!
Wow, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And it was also shot there because it's a John Hughes film, and he shot most of his stuff in Chicago.
Okay, you had asked for the still blurry cam before, and I wasn't ready at all.
And so, what have we noticed from last week? Still blurry cam visit.
That looks like snow, but that's not snow.
It isn't. No, what I'm going for here is what you're looking at is a big stack of piers. They're taking out the.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that would have been my next thing. No, it really would have. Because we said this is now the third year. I think we've had a similar conversation.
Honest, I was going with the piers next. It was snow first.
Well, I mean, look at it.
It did snow up there on Halloween. It snowed in all of Wisconsin, Minnesota, Twin Cities, Milwaukee. They got snow. And I remember snow one Halloween too, walking home from high school with Dave.
How come I don't hear harps then?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're supposed to go to the Wayback Machine.
Well, I mean, you would have. I remember when, I don't know. I think the harps. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Wait. No, that's more like, oh my gosh, you turned me into a newt. Let's see.
Michigan
if I
got
don't-
snow on Halloween too, apparently.
There. That's a little more. It was way back in high school
Right.
at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That always gets Bob for many reasons, boys and girls. You saw he did. Okay.
That is an inside joke we can never tell.
Never tell. Nope. Those aren't the droids you're looking for sure.
We can try that one, but it'll
Hey,
fail.
Michigan. Okay, Amy's here. Cool. She's talking about Michigan. They got
Right.
snow as well. So they got snow on Halloween, which is why I remember walking home from high school with Kirkland going, it's snowing, and the kids are going to trick or treat in this. That's the whole one where Seinfeld talks about, I didn't want to wear this jacket over my Superman costume. It's not exactly the superhero look I was going for.
I feel like I've had a Halloween with snow before in Atlanta sometime.
Because I don't remember much snow here, and I've been here 30
No, this
years.
would have been when I was a kid. This was before you came.
No, I'm just saying.
Before the earth caught on fire.
Well, say what you want. And you know what? Here's the thing. Argue what you want on why it happened, but it's happening. That we can all agree on that this place is getting warmer. But Bob and I make it a point not to be a political lounge. The lounge is for free expression, but not necessarily
I keep myself irresponsibly uninformed, so we don't actually talk about stuff on this show.
That's a smart move. You know, that's like Being There. Do you ever see that movie Being There?
I did, again, a long time ago, but
that's a good one. You would like, you know, and so by being so simple that they read in everything that was advanced to his answers. That was the whole, there was the irony.
Chauncey Gardner.
Chauncey Gardner. Yes. I like to watch Eve. And she thinks it's about sex, but he really meant the television. It was incredibly good. And then he was on the Tonight Show and everything. It was really that. And speaking of those classic, that promo you sent me about Albert Brooks, oh my God.
Oh, I know. Isn't that so good? I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. Boys and girls, for those of you who are not Albert Brooks fans, I feel sorry for you because he's really fun.
Yeah. It's interesting because I had Tracy watch Defending Your Life with me early on in our relationship. And so I knew I had forgotten that she saw him. And I told her that there was this Netflix thing that I wanted to watch. And I said Albert Brooks, and she said, I don't know who that is. And I'm like, oh, well, I said, oh yeah, you saw this. But that's it. I mean, that's her one reference to him is
Broadcast News too. Another one that he was. In fact, they have that that clip in the trailer that you sent me where he says, "How do you like that? I buried the lead." And you forget to, even though she's only in a blip of a scene in the promo. Holly Hunter did such a fantastic job.
They were so young.
I know. Yes.
That's crazy. I mean, because that's how I always think about it. That's when I think of Albert Brooks, that's the first, that's how I see him, because that's sort of the amalgam between young and, old. But so as I was playing around with some stuff today, and since he's on my radar, I saw a clip from the movie Drive, which I didn't know anything about. Do you know about this? He
plays a bad guy in that, I think.
He would seem to be some sort
I've seen that movie.
You've seen it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, how did you like it? It looked very intense.
Oh, I loved it. He's fine. He's a good bad guy.
It was all a montage of him being that character. Is the clip I saw?
Yeah, and he's a door. He's an ass. He's not a nice character. You know what it's like? If you've ever seen Mad Dog and Glory, has Robert De Niro and Bill Murray. And yet Bill Murray plays the mobster bad guy, and Robert De Niro plays kind of the wimpy, picked-on guy by Bill Murray's character.
Oh.
And so, again, Robert De Niro is kind of shy and introverted, and and Bill Murray's the badass kind of gangster dude.
Yeah, it was off-putting how...
And so Albert Brooks was also in that one, as my point of my little story, is the same thing.
That's what I mean. Albert Brooks was off-putting. The way they had him and his face and his hair, he looked...
Yeah.
It was really distressing to hear him so like that when you're so used to him, spit takes. That's funny, isn't it?
Although they pointed out in that trailer, for those, Bob, there's a special coming on HBO soon about the life, hopefully, and career of Albert Brooks. Rob Reiner is directing it, which is also awesome. He's got a nice touch. Most everything he does.
Yeah. This is going to be so good.
Yes, it will. I'm very excited. And so they talked about that, though. He's a great actor. You forget. I mean, we think of him as the hot potato and Curly from the Stooges.
We do.
Fair. What I found interesting in that trailer is when he said, my agent always tells me that I take the more difficult path.
Right.
And he
I
goes,
only
"You
take the
assume
only
I
path.
can see." Right, you assume I see two paths,
Right.
which I don't. I only see that one, and I thought, and that he did his bits like in the bathroom before he went on stage. Never had rehearsed them, never had done them in front of a crowd, never tested his material, and just went out and did. That takes some. That takes a pair.
Yeah.
That is that he went on the Tonight Show or out on some, and he just came up with a bit and just did it. That
Well, I
takes
just love that he's getting that recognition.
Well,
You know,
and
that-
Rob Reiner's his buddy, so he said somebody should. And I've watched these. I've known him for 50 years or whatever. David Letterman in that little clip too says, "I would rather have had his career than my career." That's high praise. That's high cotton. Albert Brooks is something, and we've talked about him. Oh, here it is. Amber's Unlikely 16th Adventure. It just scrolled across the top. So happy
yes,
birthday!
It's a there's a whole tale being spun up there.
Yeah. Well, I'm
as
sure.
with every week, there's always. I only know of one time when I accidentally left the lorem ipsum that comes up automatically.
Yeah. Now
but
you usually the team is in charge of making sure that the scroll is fresh every show, and I think it is, right. It is.
The scroll is fresh every show, and it's because it resets, and you can't, even when you save the setup for the show, it never saves what's in the crawl, and I don't know why it should. It saves every other piece of data you give it except that, and I have to redo it every time, but it keeps me honest, right? So we never get the same
that's
story
right.
twice.
I think that's a blessing in disguise, and that's just the type of granular detail that the producers of the Lounge Show demand. Really,
I mean, people are missing if they're not reading this. Well, first of all, if they're not here, they're missing every aspect.
Yeah, every aspect. That's well done, Bob. You should be in some sort of research company. You should be told something.
Yeah, but there's always the scroll, and
There is the scroll.
and generally speaking, there's some kind of especially since chat came out, creating descriptions.
It
for the
is
show a
something
little bit.
I've monkeyed around with it, just barely touched in the neighborhood. I know you're miles away from me in AI issues and celebrating the technology.
I'm giving a
but
class on it this Saturday.
I saw something. I think I saw something. I saw a little bit of propaganda for you, a new stream. Good for you, and I think you're going to kick ass. You'll do great with that. But my point is, I've just looked at just the chat stuff, and it's pretty fascinating and pretty wow. Like, just a few sentences or even just an idea, and poof,
Yeah,
there she be.
yeah. It's
What did I want to say to you? I wanted to say something.
I don't know, but I think after all this time, it's just time you said it.
Well, no, two things. One, I went back to work this past Thursday because I can finally start slowly going back to work because I've been working from home, as you know, for a while.
Right.
And they're still not totally ready with the mics and everything, so I'll probably be working home a little next week. The point is, when I got there, I had my work calendar, and I decided to see when the last time I scratched off a date. Now, I told you when I had started working from home. I said, yeah, this week I'm going to start work. How long's it been, do you think? No joke. This is a little bit of a brain thing about like how time is so weird.
I don't know, maybe a month.
8 weeks. Me too. I went 8 weeks. I've been working from home for 8 weeks. I swear I knew it was more than 1 or 2, but it felt like 1 or 2. I got not 1, 2, 3 weeks. Yeah, I've probably been home. Maybe you said a month. 8 stinking weeks.
I actually thought I was maybe overshooting it a little.
The end of August, right into early September, poof, they kicked me out because they were breaking down the cubicles. There was no more power. Tracy's here with us.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen. Let back.
Not that there. And I'm sure she would remind you tomorrow. So 8 weeks. I wrote that down just to see. So I'm glad you said a month because that's what Vivian always said. Life is like a roll of toilet paper. The first half of the roll goes slow and the second half goes so fast. Time just whoosh, whoosh, whooshes, buddy. By the way, speaking of time, set your clocks back.
Yes, that's right, ladies and germs. I just was reminded of that yesterday by my phone.
I saw a meme about that. It said, don't forget to set your clocks from sunshine and happiness back to misery and despair. I thought that was a pretty funny line. I read it on the interwebs, and I wrote it down. Don't forget to set your clocks from sunshine and happiness back to misery and despair. That's something that, like, Carla might say or Stephen Wright.
I love it only because I freaking hate this one.
Well, yeah, you get an hour of
4:30
sleep.
nighttime. I can't.
I know.
My body just says you're done. It's the worst. I mean, I'm already upside down from normal people.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that just is going to whack me even more because this year I know is more than last, and it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, but, I mean, today I was looking outside. I was putting clean sheets on my bed, and I got this really weird one of the many thousands of goofy hangups that I have. I like to put clean sheets on the bed while it's still sunny out, so it's daylight, so that when you crawl in bed at night and it's nighttime, they've had a chance to get crispy. The point is, it was daylight, and I looked outside and I went, "It'll be dark at this time tomorrow. Tomorrow
Yes.
it will be dark, and it's only afternoon, as you said. It's like 4:30 in December. It's 4:30. When I leave work, it's only 5:30, and
Right.
it's already it's like headlights and ugh.
Yes, my eyes just want to slam shut.
Yeah. And the other thing is, and there's data to prove this, there's more accidents because people freak out that first commute home this coming Monday when they're all driving home. They go, wait
that
a
would
minute.
make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'll take them a week or so to get. I'm driving home.
This is a big one for Tracy, I know, and I've hated it, especially when I moved to California. I really felt it then. That 4:30, that early dark, that's when I really felt it. And I was just like, I don't like this at all. Stop it. Why are we doing this? And there's just no good freaking reason.
No, Arizona and Indiana, I
They're
think
the only ones that said, no, we're not.
They flip them off and they go, screw you, man. We're just. But
Nevada
I was told
should do that.
The first excuse I heard or reason I heard was something about farmers, and I went, "Well, that's bull."
Yeah. A million years
Farmer,
ago,
what do you mean
when there was farming,
when there was well, no,
when
the
there's
whole
alleged farmers,
alleged,
like those were really real, like gnomes, fairies, farmers.
It's not gnomes. It's farmer gnome. But it has nothing to do with what time the clock says. You're going to go farm when the sun comes up. Who cares what time that is? You have X amount of daylight hours. So I went, well, that's bull. It can't be farmers. And then I heard it was so that the kids
and every year you hear about the legislation like, all right, we're going to end it. Mm-hmm. Cut to 6 months later, and we're springing forward.
We're springing forward. Yeah, so anyway, we fall back tonight,
into
buddy.
Misery and despair.
Into misery and despair. Right, from sunshine and happiness to misery and despair. I thought that was pretty funny. I wrote it down. So last week I wore a hat. This week I'm wearing the Band-Aid. I think you noticed. I'm sure you noticed. Wearing the Band-Aid. Because of dermatological, is that even a word? Dermatological?
He had one of his devil horns removed, ladies and gentlemen.
I did. That's what it was. But when I went to work, I had to wear this to work. And of course you're going to get, what happened to you? What happened? And so my line was, when I was stealing her Social Security check, she hit me with her handbag. That was the answer that I gave as the bit of the day. My return from
that's
8
good.
weeks.
That's good. I thought it was good. Yeah, that's good.
She did. I got a chuckle out of that. And then they go, no, what really happened? And you go, it's dermatology. It's boring. I like my
devil
rolling into a lady for her Social Security.
Really? Okay, God, here's my fucking medical. I mean,
whoa! Holy cow!
I think it's happened before, but
only from you.
Yeah,
not me. I'm a broadcaster.
I think you're right. You're right. I don't think you've ever even approached
what was that?
I'm in low battery mode again. Jeez.
Well, so how long? This is so stupid, but I thought of this morning. I didn't. I go, don't. Every morning I get up, I plug in the phone. That's just my routine. Get up, go to the bathroom and go pee, and then plug in the phone and charge it. And this morning I didn't. And I go, what's going to happen? I go, what's going to happen? I won't plug it in. I won't plug it in today. This was radical behavior. And then I thought, I bet you Bob's goes down to like 10%. I was trying to think how low I've ever had my cell phone.
Normally, I never did that. I kept it. But I'll tell you, one of the things that's drained it lately is I've got, a motion detector camera thingy. So I don't get, I've told you, so I don't jump a million miles when people go, hey. And that running drains my battery a good bit, even when it's plugged in. And then also just all the AI stuff. Ever since, you
use your phone to do AI rendering.
I'll do a lot of video editing. Almost all my video editing is on my phone now because the apps are so good.
So you do most of your visual creativity.
Not most.
On a 3.5 by 5 inch screen.
Not most. Most of the stable diffusion, all my AI stuff, like 90% of it, I'm on my computer. But there are apps that I definitely will use to create stuff too. But yeah. It just depends on
Okay.
it just depends on what I'm working on. But there's lots of good AI tools for your phone.
Well, let me before they kick us out. Last call in the lounge. Happy birthday, Amber. I want to
Yeah.
just go official. So when they
She
dig up
deserves it.
yes, she does. Yes, she does.
So I
And
hope
when
I
they
don't
dig up the
single-handedly
archives of
screw
this
it up.
show years from now, they'll see that it was on the record that I expressed birthday yay.
And with those words, those were the words they chose. I kid you not. Those were the words. So when those words came out, they decided that's when they were going to end the show. They could have done, I don't know, countless other things, but they chose that sequence of words to end it. And this is how we're left with the show. I don't get it. I don't think I can watch anymore.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.